Reports of clashes between security forces loyal to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and protesters in the town of Zabadani were followed by claims from opposition sources that they held territory in the country. Under the aegis of the Free Syrian Army, the FSA, and various expatriate and opposition networks outside the country, there has been a sustained push to craft a perception of both a brutally repressive regime and a viable, coherent opposition movement in need of more overt support. Recent activity in and statements about Zabadani have been noteworthy for the attempts to demonstrate that the FSA holds territory, though some reports are more indicative of rebels retreating into the city, down from positions in the mountains under pressure from loyalist forces. An armored Syrian patrol through the city does appear to have come under attack, as evidenced by a video purportedly from the city of a T-72 main battle tank with a disabled burning track, and may have withdrawn in response. But the parallel propaganda and information operation campaigns being conducted by both the regime in Damascus and the rebels, much of which is actually being pushed by groups outside the country, must be borne in mind when examining developments in Syria. Zabadani, which is situated in a valley in the anti-Lebanon mountains near the Lebanese border astride a road that runs through the town down the long axis of the valley from Lebanon to Damascus, is not an insignificant piece of territory, a potentially useful line of supply for both the regime and for the rebels. The FSA holding the town would be an important development. But the concept of holding territory entails not just occupying it, but the ability to deny it to others. While Zabadani does have some tactical geographic benefits in terms of having only one viable avenue of approach for heavier mechanized forces from Damascus that serves to funnel and ready access to the mountains on either side of the valley, this prevents only tactically exploitable potential. The problem for the rebels is that there is no indication of a meaningful change in their situation or their military capability. The Syrian military thus far has appeared to exercise a great deal of restraint and prudence in its actions, avoiding the most aggressive and destructive tactics of the regime of, for example, former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, who was shelling towns when the West intervened. In other words, there is plenty of reason to think that a small Syrian patrol that encountered unexpected resistance chose withdrawal from Zabadani rather than being forced out against its will, and every reason to think that should Damascus decide the town needs to be retaken, that the military has the ability to do so. But while the Arab League monitoring mission officially expired January 19th, it is likely to be extended for another month at least, and Damascus is very conscious about avoiding the kind of overt military repression that might invite more pressure and attention from the international community. Crushing the rebels in Zabadani may or may not be something Damascus will attempt to do with a heavy hand, but they retain the military ability to do so, and any restraint in that regard will be a calculated choice by the regime intended to ensure its longer-term survival.